What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am excited to be back. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the tutorial. First things up is our Ultra Repair Cream by First Aide Beauty. I'm going to use this to moisturize. Yeah. Alright, next up is our Fenty Beauty Instant Retouch Primer. As you can tell from the last few weeks, this has become my favorite primer. It's definitely my go-to. My skin type is normal to oily, so it's not that it controls any of my oils, but I definitely feel like my makeup doesn't separate. And it's not as drying as some other primers, so get you some, girl. So yeah, I already know what time it is. It's our Maybelline Master camo in the color Apricot to color correct. I find myself wanting to cut this part out of my videos. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below if I should keep every step in the video or should I just get right to the meat of it. So the foundation we're using today is by Huda Beauty. It's her Faux Filter foundation. My shade is 510R Cocoa. And I'm not gonna lie, I have been secretly loving the hell out of this foundation. Let me tell you why. I'm a tinted moisturizer girl and I don't usually do full coverage, but this just takes so much work out of applying makeup. Like, it covers everything. And of course I'm using a damp Real Technique sponge to blend that in. So, and the concealer that we're using today is by Too Faced. It's their Born This Way multi-use concealer. I am in the shade Maple and I absolutely love how thick this applicator is. I feel like, you know, less time wasted on application. And to contour, we are using the Anastasiabeverlyhills foundation stick. I am in the shade Ebony. And I am going to go ahead and blend this in, everything in off camera. And I'll be back to set everything. For setting powder, we are using the Danessa Myricks Evolution Powder in the color number 2. This is my first time experiencing, well, any of her products and the powder. I've heard so many great things and they are all true. This is one of the most finely milled powders I've ever used and I love it. All right, finally time for the eyes. Yes, my brows are already snatched. I have a video. Don't ask. Anyway, I'm priming my eyelids with Makeup's Revolution Correct and Conceal in the color C1. And this has been my go-to for priming my eyelids. It dries down really nicely. The brush that I'm using is by Giuseppe. It came in a pack. Our brush is very similar to Max 227 if you're familiar with that brush. This brush doesn't have a name. I'm sorry. So you can already tell from the title. The palette that I'm using today is by MORPHE. It's their 35M palette. The first color I'm going to use is called Fired Up. And I am also using Morphe's M514 brush to apply that above my crease. And this is, I guess you want to call this my transition shade. I don't know. But yes. Now I'm going into the color called Sweet Beats. And I'm using Morphe's M513 brush to apply that. I'm going to apply that directly under Fired Up. And I'm new to Morphe's brushes, so let me just tell you the hype is real because and I'll say this specific brush that I'm using for this color I liked because it's tapered and it didn't spread my color. Like, it kept it pretty controlled, and that's something that I really liked. And I liked how small the 514 brush was because for what I was doing, even though it fans out more, it's still very dense. And so like I said, I just felt like my colors were very controlled in this look. So I'm definitely gonna go back and get more of these brushes. They are now in Ulta too, guys. Yes, Ulta has Morphe brushes now. No more paying for shipping. So now we're going into the color Black Magic, and I'm going in with Morphe's M506 brush. And this is just gonna be the backdrop to my crease. Yes, you already know, I've already said before a million times in this video, I love these brushes. This brush is so small and neat, it fits perfectly into the crease, and it keeps the color very controlled. For me, looks like this are kind of difficult, only because my eye shapes are very different. I've had several surgeries on my left eye, so, you know, for me, I always have to go back and forth and look and make sure everything's even. And, you know, getting my symmetry right is always a challenge. So you're going to see me go back and forth, back into like Sweet Beats, add a little bit of that, go back into Fired Up, add a little bit of that, just to make sure that it's even on both sides. So I'm now going to attempt to cut my crease on camera. I was like, you know what? Be brave and just do it. I'm using the same primer that I use for my eyeshadow, and the brush that I'm using is by Real Techniques. It's their precision brush, and it's just easier for me to see around it, if that makes sense. Some brushes are just too big. Like I know a lot of people like to use the MAC 252 brush, their 248 brush. It's too big for me. This brush, I can see around it and I can get my crease cut. I should have cut it a little higher. Like I said, I struggle with cutting my crease. I really do. So if you are struggling, it's not easy. It is not easy, especially for me. It's not easy to do it on myself. On my clients, completely different story, but on myself, girl. So yeah, we're gonna go with it though. This we are going to go with it. All right, so now we're gonna go into the color Persona to finish off our lid. And now I am finishing the outer corners of the eye. I'm going back into Sweet Beats and the color Black Magic with, you know, the brushes that I used earlier for those colors. And just going back and forth on both sides to make sure everything is even. Now for our glitter, we are using NYX glitter adhesive. I am going to apply that. I don't know what brush this is, just a random brush. Just use a flat brush, it'll work. The glitter that I chose was by NYX. It's the color red, although I will say on camera it does not look red. In person it looks redder, but on camera it definitely looks very pink. And I'm not sure, maybe it's my settings on my camera, or I'm not quite sure, but it didn't have the same effect on camera as it did in person. I will say that. So in person, it is definitely a red glitter, but on camera, not so much. I have dusted all my powder away. I'm now going to warm up the skin. We are using Anastasiabeverlyhills bronzer in the color Mahogany. The brush that I'm using is a new brush for me. It is a Morphe brush. I apologize, I do not have the number at this moment. I will leave that down in the description below. But very, very, very soft brush. Love it. Like I am now a Morphe girl. I absolutely love their brushes, the quality of the brushes, the way they feel, the way they perform. Everything about these brushes are bomb.com. So now we're going to go back into the palette, going back into the color Fired Up. I'm using that as my blush color. Yep, you heard me. It turned out really pretty. Like you guys know, if you watch my videos before, you know I am stuck on raisin, and I've just been trying to push myself to try, you know, different things. And I was like, you know what? Let's just use one of these colors. And I used the same brush that I used for my bronzer to apply this. All right, and now to highlight, we are going to use Anastasiabeverlyhills-ABHxAmrezy highlighter and Anastasia's A23 highlighter brush to apply it. I don't know what happened to the rest of the footage. The rest of the footage of me highlighting, I apologize in advance. All right, so the lashes that we're using is by a brand called cakefacebeauty. I got this intel from Nitra B. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. The style that I used or that I ordered is called High Maintenance. And guys, I ordered 2 pairs of lashes and they sent me 1 free. So I feel like that's where y'all need to be getting y'all lashes from. I'm just saying. Anyway, I am going to apply 1 lash on camera for you guys. I know I always cut this out of my video, but I was like, you know what? We're going to try something a little different. Something a little different every time. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this lash, and then I will apply the other lash off camera. And for our lips today, we are going in with the Juvia's Place liquid matte in the color Lulu, and the lip liner is by MAC. It is called Nightmoth. I wanted a very deep red lip, so this is what I chose. All right, y'all, to finish off, we are using Morphe's Continuous Mist Spray. And when I say I OD on the spray every time that I use it now, because it's such a fine mist, you really cannot feel it. And then when you open your eyes, you're like, okay, Niagara Falls. Such a nice spray. I love how my makeup looks after I use it. Like, look, girl, look at her. Look at her. All right, y'all, let's get rid of this bonnet. You know, we can't do this. All right, guys, here is the final look. I am so feeling this. This is, yes, as you can tell, I am definitely feeling myself in this video. And if you are liking it, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. If you are new here, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you do not miss any more updates like this. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if there's anything you want to see, leave it down below. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.